Hello artists and welcome to Mr. Melvin Makes. Today I would like to show you how you can make a paper snake. This is a great activity if you're someone who likes playing with your art or has a passion for snakes. I think this is a great, easy, low-risk project for anyone. It's fun for anybody. Well, let's go ahead and get started. For my paper snake, I am planning on using drawing supplies like pencil and eraser, Sharpie for outline, and then I'm going to use crayons for some color, but I'm also going to finish with watercolor just to add a little bit of variety and color there. We'll put those aside because those will come later. Our snakes are going to be coiled like this one here, just wrapped all up around itself. To make a coiled snake, we need to learn how to make a special type of line known as a spiral. A spiral is shown right here. A spiral is a line that wraps around itself in a circular pattern like this. If you follow the orange line, you get an idea of what a spiral is. For my paper snake, I'm going to draw a spiral starting in the middle of my paper, and I'm going to draw it big until it reaches the sides like this. Start small in the middle, and just keep on going, getting larger each time until you touch a side like I did there. At the end here, I want you to draw kind of a teardrop shape. So I'm just going to bring it to a point on both sides. Not quite how I imagined it. We can make some changes with the eraser. That's the magical thing about an eraser is such forgiving. They're so forgiving when you make a mistake. No problems there. Now your snake head could be more detailed than mine. It can look any sorts of way. And in fact, the shape of a snake's head in real life actually says a lot about the snake itself. From here, I'm actually going to go ahead and use my Sharpie and do some outlining in a sort of a time-lapse process. Enjoy. Let's take a moment to greet Stella here. Stella's going to teach us how we can actually understand texture in art. Texture is how something feels or how it looks, how it might feel. So if you're looking at Stella right now, you might be thinking, oh boy, that is one furry cat, and I can confirm that she is in fact a furry cat. So you could say that the texture of Stella is furry, hairy, or soft. Thank you, Stella. Snakes, however, are not furry, hairy, or soft. They are scaly, kind of slimy, cold, a little hard. So we're going to add texture with our Sharpie today. Won't leave us alone now. Welcome back, Stella. We're going to add texture today by using a Sharpie to draw in some sort of scale patterns so that we can tell our viewers of our artwork that our snake is scaly. Stella's going to watch, I guess. So if you can see past Stella's big old body here, I'm going to start at the head, and I'm just going to draw these kind of C or U shaped lines in patterns like 3. There's Stella. People can't see, girl. So 2 on the bottom, 1 on top, just like this. 2 on the bottom, 1 on top. And then I kind of spread them out. Maybe there's 2 on top, 1 on bottom. Maybe it's 1 on top to the left, 1 on top to the, or on the bottom to the right. Sort of like that. I'm going to continue doing scales around my snake in a pattern, and I just want to talk about our Sharpie use today. Remember, whenever you use a Sharpie, you want to make sure that there's something under your table or under your paper that's keeping your table safe. Oh, look at that. So if you've got a drawing board, that's great. Otherwise, a second sheet of paper or newspaper works great. Stella, you're a troublemaker. I'm going to take care of her and start my scales. Wow, with textures added, this snake almost looks lifelike. The only thing it's missing is color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some crayons today. I'm going to just pick 2 actually. I'm going to use orange and black in my design. I like those colors together. You probably know my favorite color is orange. You've got total creative choice with your snake. You could color it to look realistic. You could color it to look creative. Do whatever you want. I'm going to use crayons because crayons have, they're made with wax. So the wax is going to resist or push away my watercolors. I'm going to do crayon first, watercolor next. After I'm done coloring my snake, I'll be ready to cut him or her out of here and just be about done with my artwork. So I've got my watercolor supplies ready, the crayons that I need. Today, while you work on yours, or whenever you choose to work on yours, I'm going to challenge you to come up with some sort of pattern or repetition in your design. While I'm working, I want you to see if you can spot my pattern. Let's get started. Wow, I think that snake is looking great. Remember, this is Mr. Melvin Makes, but that doesn't mean that you can't make too. I bet if you're planning on following along, your paper snake will look just as good, if not better, than mine right here. After watercoloring, I allowed it to dry completely. I gave it about 2 hours to dry, and you can see here how the crayon, that white crayon I used, resisted the paint and added this really cool effect all the way around. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm just going to cut out this snake, but not just around the outside, but actually on the spiral line, just like I'm doing, or starting right here. That's going to allow the snake to kind of jump to life and appear more lifelike because it won't be flat anymore. It'll actually start to become something almost three-dimensional in a way, even though it'll still be on flat paper. So I'm going to keep cutting this out, and afterwards we'll reassess how it's looking and decide if it needs anything more. All right, this snake looks like he or she is ready for adventures. You could wrap this around something in your house or anywhere else that you'd like. You can play with it. Lots of choices. I've got these scraps off to the side because I want you to know that another choice could be using these scraps to add things like a tongue, fangs, or maybe a rattle if this is a rattlesnake. I always suggest doing something creative with your art so it can stand out amongst everyone else's. With that being said, I want to give you a sincere thank you for checking out my channel today. If you like this video, please subscribe and check out my other art activities. If you think you know someone who might like Mr. Melvin Makes, please share my channel with them too. Thank you again. Happy making.